Now let's define the POS of max terms, like product of sum. Okay, product of sum. So here we also start with, let's start with a truth table given xyz. The function is fxyz and we know where the function takes a true value. Okay. Now we introduce a column sum term, okay, which is like a max term we can say. So here the trick is, if the value is 0, boolean value is 0, we write uncomplemented form. Okay, and instead of product or dot operation or and operation, we call it a sum or we call it or operation, right? So for this combination 0 0 0, it becomes x or y or z. 0 0 1 become x or y or z bar. So whenever we see a true value for that variable, we take a complemented form of that variable. So for this example 1 0 1 would be your x bar or y or z bar. So by convention, so if we see the table entry for that variable is 0 or false, we take the uncomplemented form of the variable. If we see it is 1, then we take the complemented form of that variable. So this is your sum term. Now we assign again a symbol. Now instead of having a small or lowercase m, we use a capital M to make that symbol. So this is a max term symbol, and we put the index. And index is concept is the same, like the value represented by that binary combination. That value we put as an index. So for example 101 is basically your capital M5. So M, capital M is a max term, whereas small m is a min term. All right, so we put and symbol for that. Now how we are going to express this function in terms of product of sum? So we write this function this way. Okay, fxyz, we pick up wherever the value of that function is false, we pick up that corresponding sum term or the max term and AND them. Okay, so we pick up here, for example, this guy takes 0 for this row, so we pick up x or y or z bar, then AND x or y bar or z bar, and x bar or y or z, and x bar or y bar or z. So we are picking up those sum terms where the function value is 0 and ANDing them. Okay, so this is how we are writing the function. Now from that, instead of the sum term, we use the corresponding symbols. So it becomes your capital M, max term 1 and max term 3 and max term 4 and max term 6. And then we can further compact this notation using the pi symbol, right? You know, this is a product in the algebraic domain. So this is a pi operation of all max term listed as 1, 3, 4, 6. So given a truth table, now we can write the product of sum, as a product of sum, that standard form, as like we pick up all the 0 where the function is 0, pick up the corresponding max terms m1, m3, 4 and 6 and write it as pi m 1, 3, 4, 6. We just look at this term where the function is 0 and write it as a POS. Now the question is, what is the relation between SOP and POS? Remember I mentioned that we just need to learn SOP, and POS is practically related to SOP. It's like any expression is in POS, we can just easily make it to SOP and do all the operation, whatever we need to do. So max term and the mean term with the same index hold a complement relation. So what does it mean? Look at, let's pick up an example, M2. Okay, M2, max term 2 is this thing, right? X or y bar or z. Now let's look at the mean term 2. What the mean term 2 means? It is x bar, y, z bar. Now imagine you complement M2, means you are complementing x bar, y, z bar. So by De Morgan law, it becomes x or y bar or z, which is nothing but your M2, right? So we are using De Morgan to understand that relation, and we know that M3 in this example, we had an example with M2. Now let's, M3 has the same relation. Your M3 is nothing but complement of the mean term 3. So this is just an example I'm giving you. So your max term M3 is x or y bar or z bar, which is nothing but x bar, y, z whole bar by De Morgan relation, De Morgan theory, which is nothing but your mean term 3, complement of mean term 3. Now let's say if a function is something like this, 0, 2, 5, 7, then inverse of the function is nothing but sigma of 1, 3, 4, 6. Inverse function, we know that what is the complement function, inverse function is the same. Like I think we use the term complement in when we are discussing dual and complement of a function. So just, yeah, so we use inverse also in terms of complement. So inverse function is nothing but the complement of a given function. So complement function of this f x y z is really your sigma 1, 3, 4, 6. Now that means your f x y z is sigma complement of sigma 1, 3, 4, 6, like 1, m1 or m3, m4, all 6, which is by De Morgan is practically your m1 bar and m3 bar and m4 bar and m6 bar, which is by this relation is nothing but m1 and m3, the max term of, we are talking about the max term here, max term 1 and max term 3 and max term 4 and max term 3, which is pi of max term 1, 3, 4, 6. So your fxyz, which was sigma m0257, is nothing but it's pi of max term 1, 3, 4, 6. Okay. So SOP expression is equivalent to its POS expression with the exact set of disjoint indices in the SOP equivalent. Right? Let's say this example. Let's take this example again. Right? We have 3 variables. Right? That means we have total 2 to the power 3 mean terms indexed by 0 to 7. Right? So we have m0, m1, m2 till m7. Now if this function is a sigma of mean term certain set, like here 0, 2, 5, 7, then what is the disjoint set of these values of for the indexes we have? Of course it is 1, 3, 4, 6. And if we know that these two values of these two disjoint sets of indices, then we can just, without thinking anything, we can just write it down. Well, this function is nothing but a pi of max term of 1, 3, 4 and 6. Okay, we don't need to even know about this relation and derive these and so on and so forth. It is not even necessary. All right. So this is why I mentioned that SOP, we need to just learn SOP, and that's all. And we'll make our discussion revolve around SOP and all the latter digital steps. We'll just concentrate on the SOP.